What if everything you see, every star, every atom, every law of physics, exists because something is aware of it? Welcome to Information World. For centuries, humanity has asked the same fundamental question in different forms. What came first, matter or mind? Did a cold, unconscious universe accidentally produce consciousness, or did consciousness itself give birth to the universe we experience? This question is no longer just philosophical. Modern physics, neuroscience, and cosmology are quietly circling back to an idea once considered unscientific, that consciousness may not be a product of the universe, but its foundation. When we look at the universe through classical physics, reality appears solid, objective, and independent of observation. Stars burn whether we look at them or not. Galaxies collide regardless of human awareness. But when physics moved deeper, into the quantum world, this certainty began to dissolve. At the smallest scales, reality behaves in ways that challenge our intuition. Particles exist in multiple states at once. Outcomes are probabilistic, not deterministic. And most disturbingly of all, observation itself appears to play a role in shaping what becomes real. In quantum mechanics, particles are described by wave functions, mathematical representations of all possible states a system can take. Before measurement, these states coexist. The moment an observation occurs, the wave function collapses into a single outcome. This phenomenon is not a matter of interpretation or philosophy, it is embedded directly into the equations that predict experimental results with astonishing accuracy. The universe, at its most fundamental level, does not fully decide what it is until it is observed. This raises an uncomfortable question. What exactly counts as an observer? Is it a human mind? A measuring device? Or something more fundamental? Some interpretations argue that consciousness itself is essential, that without awareness, the universe remains in a cloud of probabilities. Others attempt to remove consciousness from the equation, but none have fully succeeded without introducing equally strange assumptions, such as infinite branching universes or hidden variables that can never be measured. As science struggled to explain this, ancient philosophical ideas suddenly began to sound less naive. Long before telescopes and particle accelerators, thinkers in India, Greece, and China suggested that reality is mind-like in nature. In some traditions, the universe is described as a dream of a cosmic consciousness. In others, matter is seen as a secondary appearance emerging from a deeper mental or experiential substrate. These ideas were dismissed for centuries as metaphysical speculation. But today, physics itself is forcing us to reconsider them. Consider space and time. We intuitively think of them as the stage on which reality plays out. Yet modern physics tells us that space and time are not fundamental. In general relativity, space-time bends and warps depending on energy and mass. In quantum gravity research, space-time appears to emerge from more basic relationships, such as information, entanglement, or abstract mathematical structures. If space and time are not fundamental, then the universe as we experience it is not fundamental either. Something deeper gives rise to it. Information theory offers a compelling clue. In recent decades, physicists have realized that information may be as fundamental as energy or matter. Black holes, for example, are now understood not just as gravitational objects but as systems that store and process information. The laws governing them suggest that reality at its core may be informational. But information does not exist in a vacuum. Information is always information for something. It implies interpretation, distinction, and meaning. These are concepts deeply connected to consciousness. Neuroscience adds another layer to this mystery. Our direct experience of reality, color, sound, emotion, the feeling of being alive exists only in consciousness. Physics can describe wavelengths and vibrations, but it cannot explain why certain patterns produce the experience of red or the sound of music. This gap is known as the hard problem of consciousness. No matter how much we map the brain, subjective experience itself remains unexplained. Some researchers now argue that consciousness cannot be reduced to physical processes because it may be more fundamental than them. This has led to the revival of panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is a basic feature of reality, present in some form even at the level of particles. Under this view, consciousness does not suddenly appear when matter becomes complex. Instead, complexity allows consciousness to organize, reflect, and become self-aware. The universe, in this sense, is not unconscious matter giving rise to mind, but mind expressing itself as matter. If consciousness is fundamental, then the birth of the universe may look very different from the traditional Big Bang story. Instead of an explosion of matter into empty space, the beginning could be understood as a transition in a field of awareness. A differentiation from unity into multiplicity. The laws of physics would not be arbitrary rules imposed from outside, but stable patterns of experience within consciousness itself. This perspective also reframes the fine-tuning problem. The constants of the universe appear precisely balanced to allow complexity, stars, chemistry, and life. Small changes would result in a sterile cosmos. Traditional explanations appeal to chance, necessity, or a multiverse. But if consciousness is primary, fine-tuning is no longer surprising. A universe capable of being experienced may be the only kind that can exist at all. Existence and experience become inseparable. Even cosmological inflation and quantum fluctuations can be interpreted through this lens. Instead of random events in a meaningless void, they become expressions of deeper informational or experiential processes. The universe unfolds not blindly, but coherently, according to principles that allow structure, observation, and understanding to arise within it. This idea also sheds new light on the nature of time. Time feels like a flowing river, but physics describes it as a dimension similar to space. Some theories suggest time emerges from changes in information or correlations between systems. Consciousness, however, experiences time directly. The flow of time may not be a fundamental property of the universe, but a feature of conscious experience navigating a structured reality. If so, the universe does not simply exist in time, time exists within experience. The observer effect, the emergence of spacetime, the role of information, and the mystery of subjective experience all point toward the same unsettling possibility. The universe may not be a machine that accidentally became aware. Awareness may be the ground from which the machine arises. This does not mean the universe is shaped by human thoughts in a simple or mystical way. Consciousness, in this context, is not personal or emotional. It is fundamental, structured, and lawful. Human minds would be localized expressions of a much deeper field, like waves on an ocean. Individual awareness does not create reality alone, but participates in a reality that is already conscious at its core. Such a view also transforms our understanding of meaning. In a purely material universe, meaning is something we project onto an indifferent cosmos. But if consciousness is fundamental, meaning is woven into reality itself. Understanding the universe becomes the universe understanding itself. Knowledge, curiosity, and exploration are not accidents but natural expressions of a conscious cosmos reflecting on its own structure. Critics argue that this perspective risks slipping into mysticism. But the alternative explanations are no less strange. An unconscious universe that somehow generates subjective experience from purely objective components remains deeply mysterious. Infinite unseen universes, hidden dimensions, and untestable assumptions already populate modern physics. The idea that consciousness is fundamental may be radical, but it is not uniquely so. As science progresses, the boundary between physics and philosophy continues to blur. The deepest questions about reality can no longer be answered by equations alone. They require us to examine the assumptions we make about existence, observation, and experience. Consciousness may not be something added to the universe late in its history. It may be the reason there is a universe at all. If this is true, then the universe is not a silent, empty expanse. It is a vast, unfolding act of awareness. Every particle interaction, every galaxy, every living being is part of a single, coherent process of experience exploring itself from countless perspectives. And perhaps the most profound implication is this. When you look at the universe, when you ask questions about its origin and nature, you are not an outsider observing something alien. You are consciousness examining one of its own expressions. The universe is not just around you. In a very real sense, it is happening through you. If this idea changes how you see reality, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because here at Information World, we explore the deepest questions about existence, consciousness, and the universe itself.